Stacked bar charts are being used for displaying the structure of data in a given time period or at a given point of time. Disadvantages of this chart type: showing negative and positive values is only possible for the first left data series. The structure of only the first left data series and total can be analyzed well. If data points are missing, the labeling and the analysis is difficult. Measures and dimensions: you use a combination of dimensions and measures to supply the visualizations with data. The visualizations are dynamic and change according to your selections. When you are analyzing your data, you use dimensions to determine how the data from the measure is to be grouped, for example, total sales per year or number of products per supplier. You typically find a dimension representing the slices in a pie chart or on the x-axis of a bar chart with vertical bars. You use a measure to decide what part of the data to show in the visualization. For example, the total sales or number of products. A measure is a calculation that uses one or several records in the loaded data together with aggregation functions such as sum or max. You typically find a measure on the y-axis of a bar chart with vertical bars. Dimensions: Chart 2 have a limit of maximum and minimum 3 dimensions. First dimension represent the category, for example Europe, America, World, etc. Second dimension holding respectively countries for Europe, America and World. Third dimension represent the criteria by which vertical bar chart will present total. Measures: in Chart 2 measures are limited to 2 maximum, or 1 minimum measure. First measure is used to calculate the total by criteria, second measure is used to calculate difference. Appearance: Appearance tab consists of couple tabs in Chart 2 representing following settings: Settings, Scaling, Difference, Chart Distance, Percentage, Chart Distance, Number, Formatting, Measure Function, Font, Colors, Comments, Excel Export, PDF Export. Title: Title property define title of the chart. To add simple title of the chart we need to add text with single quotes, for example open quote KS Chart02 close quote. For more complicated title we can use expression button, FX, clicking on it. Highlight value: for collaboration with your coworkers you can use highlight property to present value what is not correct or not satisfy corporate need. In this property you need to add number what is incorrect and that number will be highlight with color what is defined in color section and property highlight color. For example, if we need to highlight value 188 on chart, simple add number in the property. Suppress empty: the property can be activated with checking or unchecking the checkbox or with expression button, FX. The property can contain next values: 0, show all rows, 1, show only the rows which have a description, when dimension 1 is not null or empty. Show difference bars: to activate this property you will need to include measure 2 in chart. This measure is optional. The property can be activated with checking or unchecking the checkbox, or with expression button, FX, using following values: 0, hide difference bars, 1, show difference bars. Show percentage bars: to activate this property you will need to include measure 2 in chart. This measure is optional. The property is used to show or hide the percentage bar in chart. can be activated with checking or unchecking the checkbox, or with expression button, FX, using following values: 0, hide percentage bars, 1, show percentage bars. Show total row. The property is used to show or hide the total row in chart, can be activated with checking or unchecking the checkbox or with expression button, FX, using following values: 0, hide total row, 1, show total row. Switch position of total row. It is used to set the total row on top or bottom of the chart. Total row by default is presented bottom of the chart. Activation of this property can be done with checking or unchecking the checkbox or with expression button, FX, using following values: 0, set total row on the bottom of the chart, 1, set total row on the top of the chart. Percentage limit defines the percentage limit of the percentage bars. If value of the bar is bigger than the value specified in this property, it will show an arrow. For example, if the user set property to 100, then all percentage bars which value is greater than 100 will have a triangle arrow, without the small percentage box. Total description defines the description of the total. For example, if the user set description property to sum, then description of the total will be replaced with sum. Row height, presenting the row height in pixel. For example, if the user set this property to 25, row height will increase for 8 pixels because default value is set to 17 pixels. Side padding, it is used to create space around elements content inside of any defined borders. In our chart it is defined by left and right padding in pixels. Show bar border, property give more visual presentation of the bars. Surrounding the bars with the border. Border can be defined with different colors. In section color, selecting the property border color, user can use different colors. Show back bar border. To activate this property you will need to include measure 2 in chart. This measure is optional. The property can be activated with checking or unchecking the checkbox, or with expression button, FX, using following values: 0, hide the back bar border, 1, show the back bar border. Different value defines which values, numbers will be displayed in a color that the user defined in the property difference lower color. This property only affects difference columns. For example, if the difference lower value is 50, and the difference lower color is red, all numbers that are less or equal 50 will be colored in red. Difference upper value defines which values, numbers will be displayed in a color that the user defined in the property difference upper color. This property only affects difference columns. For example, if the difference upper value is 100, and the difference upper color is green, all numbers that are less or equal 100 will be colored in green. Percentage lower value defines which values, numbers will be displayed in a color that the user defined in the property percentage lower color. This property only affects percentage columns. For example, if the percentage lower value is 50, and the percentage lower color is red, all numbers that are less or equal 50 will be colored in red. Percentage upper value defines which values, numbers will be displayed in a color that the user defined in the property percentage upper color. This property only affects percentage columns. For example, if the percentage upper value is 100, and the percentage upper color is green, all numbers that are less or equal 100 will be colored in green. Scaling, visualization consists of two components. There is space where data is displayed, and then the objects that represent the data. The point is that size of the value represented with bars is very important. The scaling drastically affect the visualization, and the story that it tells. In Chart 2 are representing 4 scaling option for different user needs. Manually use of scaling, using drop-down menu and selecting manually, you set property to 0, then the bar scaling depend of amount. Bar length, percentage amount and percentage bar length property, auto scaling, using from menu you set the property to 1, that is mean that bar scaling is automatically calculated. Use of scaling, you set the property to 2, this property is used for writing scaling by absolute value. Defined expression, is set property to 3 and is used to controlling scaling trot expression. Difference distance, this property is in the use if we set measure to calculate difference. Property allows, to move the difference axis line to the right or to the left. Positive number, moves the difference axis line to the right, negative number, moves the difference axis line to the left. Percentage charts distance, this property is in the use if we set measure to calculate difference. Property allows, to move the percentage axis line to the right or to the left. Positive number, moves the percentage axis line to the right, negative number, moves the percentage axis line to the left. Number format are used to control the display of cell values that contain numeric data. Using the button with questionnaire, will be displayed predefined formats. With simple click on desired format, you can copy and paste in the property. Currency, defines the currency, if a number with currency is used. Separators, 2 separators, are available in section number format, and that is, thousand and decimal separators. Thousand abbreviation, if is used K, in the property then the value of 1000 would be displayed as 1K. Million abbreviation, if is used M, in the property then the value of 1 million will be displayed as 1M. Billion abbreviation, if is used B, in the property then the value of 1 billion will be displayed as 1B. Trillion abbreviation, if is used T, in the property then the value of 1 trillion will be displayed as 1T. Measure function, used for measure, from on bar to another bar and calculate positive and negative difference between two items. To use it, just drag and drop from one item to another. The property can be activated with checking or unchecking the checkbox, or with expression button, FX, using following values, 0, no, 1, yes. The other properties in the measure function section, is used for visual presentation, like positive or negative color, for the positive or negative value arrow of measure, title. Displaying title in this functionality, font family, font size and font color are in function of presenting fonts. Font, a selection of fonts, as well as changing their properties are placed in the font menu. This menu contains the following properties, that control the properties of tooltip as well: font, size, font color, tooltip font, tooltip size, tooltip font color. Color, a selection of color, as well as changing their properties are placed in the color menu. This menu contains the following properties: background, defines the background of the extension; hover bar color, defines the color on bar hovering; bar border color, back bar border color; highlight color, defines the color of the highlighted value; start color, this property only works when the third dimension is set to empty. Property accept a RGB value or HEX value. After setting the value, the extension will color the stacked bar with shades from the start color to the end color. Comments and exports. With this chart are available comment and export functionality. For those functionality to work, have to be installed on same or dedicated server comments API and export API.